Hello, everyone. This is Farouk, and I will be going over the gameplay basics. Try and make it simple for everybody. So, let's see. When you first start, we just want you to choose a player. You can be Republic, Dark Side, Bounty Hunter, or you can choose neutral. And you also have a created player if you would decide you don't want a character that is in the Star Wars universe. You can actually make your own character in the Star Wars universe. It can be force sensitive, or it can just be a star pilot, or whatever you choose. The point is for you just to have fun, let loose, make some friends. Especially a lot of us play Force Arena together. And when you're not on a game, this gives you something else to do. So pretty much with the dark side, is of course the aggressor. So it is going to be attacking a lot. And the Republic is pretty much defense. And when they successfully defend a planet, the planet then becomes a supporter of the Republic, which therefore is under the command of the Republic. If the Sith conquered a planet, or dark side, whatever you choose to call it, they have control over the planet. Now, as a bounty hunter, you can be hired for being a mercenary, which is helping with battles, or you can be hired to collect bounties, which is capturing and taking prisoner other players. And as a neutral player, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're neutral. You're in between. You're not sure what you want to do, but as a neutral player, since you're not going to be doing a whole lot of fighting, you gain control over a planet of your choice. Like my character is a created player that is neutral, and I have my own planet. So, and when the time comes, I'll pick or choose what I want to do. Now, the hopes is that battles will take place at any time during the day, and as long as admin is told who fights, who wins, who loses, surrenders or retreats, that way we can address it accordingly. Because during battles you do lose troops. Even if you win, you lose troops. So that way we can take items out of your inventory so that you can replace them. Or if a player retreats, the number is a little different for what you lose. And if someone surrenders, which means they were captured, it lets us know who's taken prisoner, and so forth. And here we have the armies that you can select from. If you pick Republic, this is the Republic fleet and ground forces that you need, that are required to fight in a battle. Whether you're fighting ground or fleet, you have to have all these items. And then you got the dark side list. Same thing goes for them. You have to have these. Now, the bounty hunters are a little different, so of course they have a different set of items that they have to have. However, if a bounty hunter wants to be a merc, it has to pick from either the dark side list or the Republic list to fight fleet fights. Otherwise, they are mainly a ground force. Okay? And for neutral players select either a dark side or the Republic. It's their choice. It doesn't mean that if they choose dark side, it does not mean that they are the dark side. They choose Republic, it does not mean that they are Republic. It's just the ships they chose. Now, as for special items, we have special items in our store that gives you either extra defense rolls or extra attack rolls. And then the Jedi, of course, have force powers that they can purchase that allows them to do direct damage to like ground assaults. They can stop damage on ground assaults, and then they have one that they can use for the fleet, which is called Battle Meditation, that allows them to do direct damage during battle. They cannot be blocked. Like, you have to take the damage. You know, the disposal of troops is actually handled by admin, so that's really no concern of y'all's, except for the fact that if during a battle, say, you completely defeat the other person, that person loses 3/4 of whatever list he has up here. So, for example, if I was to lose, I would lose 3/4 of the Fenter class Star Destroyers. You know, I would be taking away 3. Like, I have it set up to where it's really simple math just to deduct from the list. The only thing you don't lose is your flagship. Now, flagships are important because you can actually attack 2 planets at once, and in order to do so, you have to have double the fleet. Okay, so pretty much that list you see right here, you have to have double that amount. Now, you know, even and the winner of the match that defeats the other player still loses 1/4 of his troops. It's really not that much of a loss. It's not that much of a penalty, but in all war, there are casualties. All right. And let's see. There's a create your character, but we are going to talk about the battle. And I'm trying to see where it's at. And it's not in here. Let me check, make sure. Battles. There we go. Alright, this is the main thing. Damage is dealt when an attacker rolls higher than a defender. Damage is equal to the number rolled. So all our dice are rolled out of 10. It's a 10-sided dice. So let's say I roll a 10 and Anakin rolls a 9. Being that my roll is higher, he takes damage, and he takes 10 damage because that's the number of my dice. Very simple. You know, so it breaks it down for you. This is really simple, but I figured it might be nice to hear a voice talking about it, that way you don't have to read everything. And when you do battles, you can choose to do just ground, or you can choose to do just fleet. It depends on what you want to do, how long you want the battle to last. You know, it's just a preference. You know, I like to do both, and it also works out like if you get a 2 versus 2 match, one general can do the fleet and one can do the ground, and y'all just switch back and forth. So that brings it to the point to where the attacker always rolls first. The person attacking a planet always rolls first. And fleet is the first to roll. So, say I'm attacking, I state my attack, then I roll. The other player states his defense if he chooses, and then he rolls a defense roll. After that, it is now his turn to attack for the fleet, and it's my turn to defend. After that turn of attacks is over, it then switches to the ground forces, and it's the same process. I roll first, he defends, then he rolls, and then I defend, and then it goes back to fleet. You know, and this continues until an attacker retreats, or defeat happens. Now, a defender has the option to surrender if he doesn't want his entire army to be destroyed, as it shows. But like the attacker, if he gets defeated, they're taken prisoner. So if you're completely defeated, like your army's completely wiped out, then you are captured. You are now a prisoner. And if you surrender as a defender, you are a prisoner as well. You just save your pretty much credits from having to buy more ships. Right. The fleet starts off with 20 HP, and the ground starts off with 20 HP. The attacker's number is always on the left, and the defender is always on the right. After each attack roll, this is just a suggestion that you always put down, say, if the other player took 5 damage, put 20-15. That way, it's easier to keep up with, and always add fleet after. That way when you scroll back up, in case you forget what the points are at, it says fleet, and that way you know exactly where the fleet's at, know where the ground forces are at. It's really simple. It's a little easier to talk about than it is to put it down in the actual chats, because the chats make it seem so confusing, but it's really not. And I just really hope that people can enjoy the game for what it is and how it's set up. We got numerous planets that you can battle on. You don't have to wait for anybody from admin to be on battle or on a game to battle. You can just have fun. Of course, let us know what happens during the battles. But it's just really simple. And I do appreciate y'all's time, and hope you enjoy the game.